Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well, staying safe and healthy as always. Okay, so something that I touched upon just a little bit in yesterday's video, but kind of wanted to make it a video of its own, is contactless or virtual handoffs. Something very important, and especially really important to any of you guys out there who are experiencing a complete drop off of rentals and are just kind of waiting for things to pick up, or if you have your listing snoozed for the time being until things kind of normalize again. I think what I'm anticipating for myself is that the new normal is definitely going to take a major shift towards contactless bookings and virtual handoffs. So you really need to anticipate that, at least for the foreseeable future. I'm thinking personally that it's going to be at least through the end of this year where that is going to be the preferred experience by renters, right? People are still going to be really big about their safety and their health and probably wanting to keep distance and maintain distance from people. So they'll really value the part of being able to grab a car and having it be contactless and virtual. But in order to do these types of handoffs, these check-ins and check-outs, you have to make sure that you follow the process that is set forth by Turo, because believe me, if something happens on a trip and you go to file a claim using this crisis and a pandemic as a reason as to why maybe you didn't do a proper check-in or check-out or didn't verify a guest's ID, is not going to fly. They will deny that claim, and you don't want to end up in a position where claims get denied. And I'm pretty positive that 99.99999% of the time that claims get denied, it's because the proper protocol and process was not followed. So right now is a perfect time to clue yourself into that protocol. So what are the main things you need to know? First off is, if you're doing contactless or virtual handoffs, you need a way of doing that, like a physical way of doing that, right? So a lot of people do it through a few methods, and I think it's three is what I've seen primarily. One is, if you're on the Turo Go system, then you have access to your car and you can remotely lock and unlock it. Turo Go is the easiest way to do virtual handoffs because you don't have to go through the process of ID verification, because that's all done through Turo Go, and Turo Go will prompt guests on how to check in and where to grab the keys and so on and so forth. So it makes it a lot easier. However, the new virtual Turo Go is only available in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and San Diego, so basically California. And now, if you don't have Turo Go, or if your car is not eligible for Turo Go, the other ways are either your car comes with a built-in system through your car manufacturer, where through an app you have access to remote controls like locking and unlocking and things like that, which many of the newer cars do. Or finally, the third method that I've seen is using lock boxes. Now, I've personally never used lock boxes, so I can't recommend one that would work well, but just go on Amazon. There are tons of options. And if there's any host out there that do use the lockbox method, please definitely comment below and let us know what you recommend and what has worked well for you. Okay, so you're going to be using one of those three methods to leave your keys safely so that renters can get them. Then what happens next is the messaging. Messaging is so key, right? So you get a booking, you send out whatever your introductory message is to your renter. I will actually put a copy of the message that I sent out in my description down below, and you guys are more than welcome to use it. So basically, I just thank them for renting my car. I let them know that the car is going to be washed, detailed, sanitized, and especially these days, I really emphasize the sanitization part. I let them know exactly what the address is, where the pickup location is, what kind of markers they could look for, and where the car is going to be parked. And then I kind of conclude with, if they have any questions in the meantime, to feel free to message me at any time. I'm more than happy to help. Then I kind of created a subsection of my message ever since this whole pandemic happened, and it just says, due to the current circumstances and situations, health and safety are utmost priority. So I am doing contactless bookings, blah, blah, blah. And then I just say that I will need the following documentation before you can pick up the car. And then I just have two steps listed. The first one is a copy of your driver's license, and the second one is a a selfie photo of yourself holding your driver's license like this, so that you can verify that the person's license does in fact match who they are. Now, the important thing here being that this has to be done within 24 hours of the trip. So say somebody books a trip and they booked it maybe 5 days in advance. You don't want to send out that message about them uploading their IDs right away, because if they do that, technically that is not the proper protocol and that can void a claim. Which, you know, in some situations it sucks because you kind of have to do a little extra work and you can't just send everything at once. But in those situations, that's just what you have to do. So usually what I'll do in that situation is I'll check back in 24 hours before a trip starts, because for whatever reason, it takes people quite some time to upload those 2 photos. And some people don't even know how to upload photos or where to upload them. So you want to be prepared to walk them through, like, hey, you need to go to your reservation page. You're going to see a little section when you scroll down. It'll say add photos and you can add it there. So it takes people a minute, and then oftentimes people just upload a photo of their license. So you have to go back and ask for a photo of them holding their license. So you want to make sure that you really do start this 24 hours in advance, because it could take multiple tries before you can get someone to actually upload their photos. Sorry guys, got disconnected. But yeah, that is just what it is. Sometimes it just takes many tries to get people to upload it. So you want to make sure you give yourself enough time to get that done before the reservation actually starts. Then you want to go ahead and make sure you park the car in a safe location where people can conveniently pick it up. I usually leave my key inside the center console, or you can leave it in the glove compartment, whatever is easiest. Obviously, don't leave it exposed like in a cup holder where it's there for the public to see. You do want to make sure it's like well hidden. And then you want to make sure that you do follow the proper check-in on your end as a host. So make sure you're taking those 360 photos, get the dash, get the interior, the exterior, your wheels, your tires, underneath the front bumper lip. I mean, you want to get the whole thing and make sure everything is uploaded. Again, within that 24-hour period of a reservation starting, because you want to make sure that your claim is covered. And now upon checkout, the same exact thing needs to happen, where you have to make sure that you upload your photos within 24 hours of a reservation ending. If either one of those pieces are missing, your claim can definitely be denied, because it literally states it in black and white on their website. So whether we think it's fair or not, this is the marketplace that we play in, and these are the rules of the marketplace. So we have to make sure that we follow the process to make sure that we minimize our liability and our risk, and that we are covered through claims. So very important. And then finally, what I do for my contactless virtual handoffs that I've been doing is for my cars, I usually have a quick video. I keep them all on hand, and I do realize that's probably easier for me to do than some other people, because I do this every day. But usually what I try to do for every car is make maybe like a 2-minute video, just showing any features that might be unique to that car. And what I share is based off of just my experience with that particular car and the questions that people ask about that car. So for example, my Corvettes have unique door handles. They're kind of a button to get in and a little small button to get out. Most people look for real manual door handles, which that car does not have. So in my video, I quickly show the door handles, quickly show how to take the top off, where it goes in the trunk, because those are the things that are unique about that car. And in the video can be real quick. And what I do for me personally is I upload them to YouTube. I have them unlisted, and then I just share the link with the guest who is renting that car. That way they know everything, and they feel like, you know, any questions they may have had have been answered. And then it also, as a host, it saves you time, because people don't have to message you back and forth, and you don't have to try to explain to them how something works. You can give them a visual representation of exactly what the functionality is of the car. On specialty vehicles like my Vanderhall and my Polaris, where there's a few more features and a few more things that it's a little bit more intensive what you need to know about the car, I would say those videos are roughly around 3 to 3.5 minutes. And it just really gives the guest reassurance in they know exactly how the car functions. And then again, I follow up with, if you have any questions at all, just feel free to reach out to me. So I still really try to make that personal connection with the guest and make it feel like a personable experience. experience, but at the same time, adapting to the current climate that we're in and reassuring people that it's safe and it's sanitized and you don't have to worry about interacting with me unless you really ask for it. So that's kind of how I've been handling these contactless virtual handoffs. And I would really, really recommend that if you don't have a system in place for yourself just yet, obviously rentals are going to come back. They are going to start flowing again. And if people are still in the mindset of where they're really cautious about their safety and their health and cleanliness, you're going to have something put in place to do contactless or virtual handoffs. So you want to get prepared for that now so that you don't have obstacles later on. So I think that for me personally, like I said, I am anticipating on doing this for the remainder of the year. And hopefully that'll slowly start to change. But right now, that is precisely the experience that renters are looking for. They don't want to meet you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to shake your hand, and they don't want to get close to you. And that's okay. That is okay. And for me personally, it's been really weird because, as you guys know from my channel, I always talk about how the person-to-person experience, it's so personable and people love it and they have so many questions about Turo and the car and this and that, but that's just not what it is right now. And probably the oddest part about it all is, even though you try to communicate more extensively with your guests through the messaging and stuff, there is still on a random day I'll think to myself, I'm like, shoot, where did I park that car? And then I was like, wait, is it out on a rental? And then because you're not putting faces to your rentals anymore, you're not putting conversations to your rentals, so you kind of lose track of what car is where and who it went with and when it's coming back. So that's definitely has taken a little getting used to me for sure. And then finally, as you gear up to do contactless and virtual handoffs, I know there's a lot of people out there that already do this, but in your description, you of course want to advertise that as well. Give people some reassurance that, hey, if you rent from me, I got a great system, contactless, cars are clean, obviously taking into account what's going on and just really creating a very seamless experience for the guest. And again, this is an excellent way to provide value, during a time where we are very limited in transactions and interactions, right? So this is a great way to add value and really cater to the needs and the buying patterns of the renters that we are going to get throughout the remainder of this year. So again, like I mentioned maybe over a month ago, contactless, we have to remember that there's all these companies out there that are far larger than us and are spending tons and tons of money marketing that word contactless. So we want to take advantage of what's already being paid for by somebody else, and we want to take advantage of that to help boost our own business. So contactless it's the key phrase. That's the word that you want to use because people now relate to that. Everyone knows contactless and that's what they're looking for. If you look at commercials for any of these delivery services, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Amazon, UPS, it's everything contactless. So that is what's being planted into people's minds, and that's what they're going to want to see in any service that they interact with. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of that. And on that note, that's really about it in terms of virtual handoffs, check-ins and check-outs. Most important thing, like I mentioned, is you want to make sure that everything is being done in the correct time frame, and the ID verification is so important. And also, on that note, with ID verification, just because you see a photo uploaded doesn't mean that you don't go and verify. Make sure you click on that photo and read the license. Make sure that the license is not expired. Make sure that the name matches up to the reservation. Make sure that the birthday matches up. Probably the thing that I see the most is expired licenses. So sometimes what happens is you'll get a guest and you'll see, oh, they have previous trips. Like, oh, great, perfect. They already know Turo. But when you go and check their license, it's expired and you cannot release your car to somebody that has an expired driver's license. You cannot. Don't make that mistake. You can, however, take temporary licenses. Those do work, but you do want to make sure that you still verify the information. So just be really diligent and pay attention to the details, and that should keep you squared away on all of your rentals for the remainder of the year as we kind of navigate these new waters that we're in. In my description down below, I am going to paste a copy of the message that I sent out. And then, of course, please do adjust it based on however you do things. And then I'm also going to include links to the guides that are on Turo's website so that you can really read all the fine print to make sure that you are covered for your rentals in the event that a claim does occur. This link is also really good because it also acknowledges if you get international licenses, if you're having trouble verifying a license, they have a direct phone number that you can call. So it's a really great resource and it's laid out really well. So check that out in the description. And on that note, I am going to call it a night for tonight. As always, guys, do send me your questions and comments. I love talking to you guys. And if you like this channel, be sure to subscribe. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care. Good night. Goodbye.